So let's go into your reading. So first of all, we have the Princess of Wands and the Strength card. This is greatly about standing up for ourselves, taking initiative, as well as standing for what we believe in, taking charge of our own life. Okay, it's a page energy, so it's still very young. It's still going through the whole maturation process. I'm going to read this energy as you, where you are reclaiming your power, where you're thinking about, what direction do I want my life to go and how am I going to logically get there? I do feel that for a lot of you, you've been through some hardships in the past where you might feel like a little bit cast out or like, abandoned, where you feel, and I want you to understand that externally, the support is there. You need to find the right people to ally yourself with, and at least the right people who have been consistently reaching out to you, okay? So reaching out to someone where there's no contact, there's no reciprocity, obviously that's going to lead you down a dead end. So in this instance, I feel that you're taking stock of your friendships, your group associations, the connections that have been stable and consistent over the years, and you're going to reach out to those contacts. So either way, I feel that a lot of you are in a situation where your power might have been suppressed, where you felt like you weren't in control of the direction of your life. And this is the month in which you are gaining back control, in which you're reclaiming your power, and you're putting yourself in a position where you can stand up for yourself, regardless of what other people are doing. So this is like emerging from that darkness, emerging from the shadows of somebody else and reclaiming your power. Once again, it's linked up here with the Strength card, and the Strength is all about inner strength, diligence. It's also a card about craftiness as well, because as you can see, this is a woman taming a lion. And in terms of physical strength, the lion's got, the upper hand, but she knows how to maneuver it. She knows how to persuade it, and she knows how to work with the energy, that very feminine energy, in order to steer a situation that could potentially be dangerous or volatile in her own way, okay, in the way that is going to give her a favorable outcome. This card does not deal with manipulation, and it doesn't deal with deception or anything like that. So I want you to really understand the difference between the two. Steering a situation in our favor is not about, hiding the truth. It's not about not being confrontational. She is confrontational in this regards, but she's doing it in a way that is very smart, that's conducive for, mutual growth between both parties. So I definitely feel this is the month in which, if you have been procrastinating on a situation or getting yourself out of a situation where you feel very unappreciated, where you felt very isolated, where you felt like you were under, the command of somebody else, I definitely sense it is a good time for you to break away. And I feel like a lot of you have realized that you needed to break away for quite some time. The opportunity was never there, or you might have delayed on this situation, mainly because you felt that, the timing has to be just right because you're scared. I definitely feel a lot of fears, anxieties, and things like that. About confrontation. I feel some fears, anxieties as well about forging ahead, getting a clean break, starting over, and being on your own. And starting over is never an easy process, but I definitely feel that this is the month in which you are reclaiming your power, and you're going to come to a sense where you start to realize that how powerful you are, how persuasive you are, how easy this situation is actually to overcome once you decide in your mind what you want to do, what you want your life to look like. And at the same time, it's about working smart. It's about harnessing the energy. It's about understanding the dire situation at hand and how it's really holding you back, so that you can basically get your hands dirty, get in there and fix a situation that was not working for you, okay? So I definitely feel this burst of energy where you're going to reclaim your power. You're going to feel very empowered as a result of it as well. So this is a really beautiful energy. For a lot of you, it might have happened in the July time frame, because both of these cards are coming out very strongly. And this was the initial message I was also getting too, like fear of confrontation. Okay, a lot of you might be dealing with a fire sign, and this is a Aries, Sagittarius, or a Leo. It's somebody who actually they have good intentions, I feel. So if you're dealing with this situation, possibly in a work environment, I feel like what it's saying here is to be very, very patient. This person seems to me like a very young energy, or at least the energy that they are exuding for this month is someone who's a little bit combative. They might be very sharp with their words. They might like say things and they might hurt your feelings, honestly, but without meaning to. Okay, they're a little bit blunt and they're a little bit like I would say insensitive, but not in a way where they're meant to hurt you. I do feel that their words can cut and they shoot off the hips, but they don't really mean, they don't really mean to hurt, to harm anybody's feelings. So I definitely feel that this is a situation, if you're dealing with a coworker, for example, who is like this, who's a little bit abrasive, you can pull this person to the side and, just tell them, hey, that really hurt my feelings, or something like that. Something like in order to let them know where you're coming from, because I feel like it might have been a misunderstanding and it might have been a difference in sensitivity level. So if you can pull them aside, I do feel this situation is going to get resolved in your favor. So don't be afraid to have those awkward conversations, okay? No one likes those conversations, but they need to be had, because we don't always see eye to eye with another person, especially in terms of like how we both communicate. So it is in your best interest, if something like this is happening to you, and it's happening a lot, especially, then you need to get to the bottom of it by pulling the other person aside and just having a one-on-one with them, okay? What I'm also feeling here with the Ten of Swords is there is a situation here that is very, very untenable. A lot of you, I feel like you're dealing with some difficult authority figure. This is a person in a work environment or within your home environment. So if this is somebody that you feel has great power, great control over you, and you feel like you can't get out from under their shadows, this is the month for you to look at this situation in its true light and to fix this aspect of yourself, okay? And what I mean is taking charge, okay? So I feel like small battles are happening, possibly with a fire sign. A bigger battle is happening here with an authority figure. In the process of confronting situations as they come up with, other people in your life that are not as significant, you're going to regain your strength, you're going to regain your power, and then you're going to be able to tackle one of the bigger people, the more important people in your life, where you feel like you can't get out from under their shadows. The other aspect that I'm reading with this two combination here is that there's some inherent warning here, okay? And the Emperor usually serves as like a spirit guide, somebody that is has passed on, has passed over. And they're basically telling you to re-examine a situation in your life where you have given somebody multiple opportunities, multiple tries, and multiple chances as well, and you end up constantly feeling very, very emotionally drained, physically like just exhausted, exasperated, and you feel like you cannot be in this situation anymore. If there is some aspect in your life that is showing up like this, I do feel that your guides are pushing you away from this situation. They're giving you a way out. They're providing I guess like a route, an escape plan for you to do this. They also want to remind you as well, honestly, Pisces, the worst of it is over. It can't get any worse than this, but they're telling you the worst of it is over. There's no need for you to stay in it. So they're pointing in a different direction, so that rather than being stuck in this situation, stuck in the past, you're able to move on. So when I say that the worst of it is over, it's saying like, what's the worst that can happen at this point? You've already suffered so much. So if that's the case, if that sounds even familiar, it is really important for you to find a way to extract yourself. And I feel like small victories have been happening, fixing your relationships, dealing with people that you feel might have been insensitive. So small victories are basically the stepping stones for you in order to achieve this big victory, in order for you to cleanly extract yourself from a circumstance that was very painful for you. And I do sense that they're urging you, this has been going on long enough. You are going to have to move from this situation, okay? I sense for a lot of you, this is something that might have surfaced in the time of Aries. So this is like coming right after your birthday time. So that's roughly around March 21st to like April 21st, give or take a few days. This is something that was coming to light in that time frame, and as a result of it, you're kind of like still a little bit traumatized. You're still trying to process it, and you're still trying to figure out, I feel almost as if you're still making forgive me for saying, you're still making excuses for the other person. You're still making excuses as to why you should stay, and there's a lot of fears, anxiety. Yes, I understand it is fearful to start over, but I do sense, once again, the 10 of Swords is a painful situation. And the 10 indicate the end of a cycle as well. So you are going to have, I don't feel that it's going to be in your best interest to stay in this situation. Your guides are guiding you out, and you're going to be on your way out, okay? So keep an eye out for that lucky break, that small window of opportunity that comes in that will allow you to somehow extract yourself cleanly, okay? So let me just say this. If you have been, especially, this is going to apply to a small minority. If you are in a situation where you're dealing with especially verbal abuse, physical abuse, mental, emotional abuse, if you're in a situation where someone is treating you less than what you feel you deserve, and especially constantly putting you down and not giving you that encouragement that you need, Pisces, you are going to have to look at this situation for what it is. You need to reclaim your power. And I know that's easier said than done, but I feel like all these minor victories with coworkers, with acquaintances, is allowing you to grow in strength, foster or harness your own inner strength so that you can achieve this big victory for yourself, okay? Now, I do sense here, we do have the Prince of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands. First of all, let's talk about this. There is an earth sign that you are dealing with, a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. This person is somebody who is very, very reliable in your midst, okay? And I feel like more it's a friend, it's a colleague, it's an acquaintance, possibly even a brother. A brother for some of you, or even like some family member. This is someone that has been around, I feel, for quite some time. And they have proven themselves to be very trustworthy, to be there when you need them. They have offered their services, their help for quite some time. And I don't know why, but I feel almost like I feel almost like they're making themselves available to you for material, for financial help. They might not be the emotional person. They might not be the emotional type, but they have been around for quite some time. And no matter what, if you're ever in a jam, you can always, always come to them. I feel them extending a hand, like for friendship, for help, to get you to know that they're there for you, and to, utilize their services. That's what I'm feeling. And I feel like for a lot of you, there might be some sense of pride, some sense of, I want to do this on my own, or feeling very much alone in your struggle, feeling very much like isolated from everybody else. And, when it comes to isolation, a lot of the isolation could be external, where, you're separated from your family for a job, for example. You're separated from your family through somebody else's actions, which is, getting yourself in an unhealthy relationship, and then the other person separates you, isolates you from your support network because they want to manipulate you. They want you to stay with them. They want you to live in a constant state of fear. The other type of isolation is internal, where we feel like, oh, everyone is against us. There's no one that really understands our struggle. So I'm going to say this, Pisces, I feel you have plenty of support around you. And I feel that a lot of you are actually dealing with the external type of isolation, where someone is imposing the isolation upon you. And then there's a small minority of you where someone is reaching out to help you, especially an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I feel like this is somebody who has been around for quite some time. They are not emotionally in tune with you, but they are always there whenever you need them. Whenever you need something, they're there. But I feel like you're being a little bit stubborn, and you might say like, I want to do this on my own. I want to just see how powerful I am. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like this is a losing battle here because, it's a card about valor. It's a card about strength. It's a card about, um, independence as well. But in this situation, it seems a little bit like a losing battle. Okay, so I just want you to be careful about this energy. It's one person against seven. And, seven is a very, very karmic number. So a lot of you feel like this is my battle. I need to clean it up. I need to like, I don't need anybody in order to do this. I can do this on my own, and I can like climb to the top of that mountain without anybody's help. If that sounds familiar, I just want you to realize, or at least understand, what is it that you're trying to achieve? Is it stubbornness where you feel like I can do this on my own, or is it just wanting to test your limit? Okay, and even if you were to test your limit, that's perfectly fine. If you want to recreationally test your limit, but I feel like there might be something a little bit more dire than that, more important than that, and you're going to need some type of assistance. Okay, so there is somebody in your midst making themselves available to you, but I feel like you feel almost like they don't understand you. And they probably don't, because, they're an earth sign. But my advice here for this month is that you're going to need other people, and there's strength in number, right? I also feel that it's the month for you to stop playing the martyr. If this is something that you feel you keep getting yourselves into over and over again, because I feel like this is very karmic, this is very cyclical. And a lot of you are kind of like, no, I would rather, take the burden and spare somebody else the expense. We're not supposed to interfere with other people's karmic lessons. We're also not supposed to, play the martyr and mistakenly, I feel for a lot of Pisces, this might be a tendency, mistakenly play the role of the martyr, in which you sacrifice pieces and bits of yourself in order to for a greater purpose, and you feel almost as if I'm very much alone in this battle. I feel like this is my life's calling. Your life's calling is to live a life of fulfillment, to live a life where you basically grow to your full potential. So I want you to really think about what you're trying to do here, and really think about, is it fame, accolades, recognition that you're hoping for? Is it stubbornness, or is it just, wanting to test your strength? So depending on how you answer that question, then you're going to realize what you need to do, obviously. If it's just, stubbornness, if it's just pure martyrdom, because you feel like that's your life's calling, I would like you to re-examine this situation, because I feel like it keeps happening over and over and over again. And it's not going to go away unless we change our paradigm, okay, our perspective, and how we perceive ourselves, our relations to other people, and how we handle conflict when they come through, okay? So keep that in mind. What's coming through in terms of communication here is that there's definitely some type of an assistance, some type of a helper that is being thrown in your midst, that's going to help you get out of a very tenuous, potentially dangerous situation, okay? You have somebody coming in, and they're rushing in. We have here the Prince of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords, the fastest moving knight in the deck. They see you on your pedestal struggling, and they're charging in order to help you. I don't feel they're there to harm you. So this is an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, a Libra. Even though, knights are very action oriented, and they're very like, they're pretty much prepared for battle. What I am getting with this knight is more of an energy where they can strategically help you without to minimize the bloodbath, to minimize the conflict. They can de-escalate a situation because they're very persuasive, they're very smart, and they have a strategy. They don't come rushing in without a game plan. What I'm also feeling is this person is very, very courageous. Okay, so let me talk about this first. This is somebody who fights smart, who fights smart. They're, they have their armor on. They're kind of like perched in a high position on this horse. It gives them a better vantage point. It gives them an advantage in battle. This is potentially you or another person and not fighting too smart, where you're perched on top of something, you're defenseless, you have no armor on, and you're fighting 7 people. So there's a difference here. This is someone who is, the strategist, the battle strategist. They're going to win battles. And I feel like someone is giving you some expertise, some information that's really going to help your case. And I feel that taking this person's advice is going to be very beneficial for you. It might be an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, or it might be somebody who has been through it before. They're armed and ready to battle. Okay. They're coming to your rescue, I would say. I don't like to use the word rescue. I don't like to use the word martyr, especially for a Pisces reading. But I feel like it's being brought up so strongly in the imagery in the cards. So I'm going to say that everyone needs to fight their own battles. But in this situation, I feel that you need help. And someone is coming to your rescue. So take their advice. Allow their services to help you out of some sticky, tenuous situation, okay? What is linked up with here is the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is both of these combinations, actually. Someone coming in, swooping in, and moving you away from a very, very troublesome situation. I do feel divine intervention is coming in very, very strongly for this month. I do sense that coming in. I do feel that these helpers that are in your midst, in your environment, are divinely guided to come and help you, even though you didn't ask for it. I feel like you might be too proud to ask for help. You might feel like I need to handle this on my own because that's my destiny. But I feel that you're going to have to reach out to other people for this month, Pisces. So especially for women, Piscean women with children that are going through this situation, I do want you to know that you need to get yourself out. And I also want you to know that you are a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for. Okay? However, there are plenty of people around you that are actually very concerned about you. They might not show it in the way that you normally show how you feel and how, your concerns, your worries. You're dealing with different elements. That's the bottom line. You're dealing with air signs and earth signs, and they're not emotionally expressive people, but they're very reliable, and they're actually there. When you need them, all you have to do is, make that phone call, reach out in some way, send that email. And I do sense it's going to be very, very beneficial for you. A lot of you might be dealing with an air sign who has been kind of like, you don't really know where you stand with them. You don't really know how they feel about you. This is the month in which your worries, your anxieties are going to be appeased, okay? They're going to be silenced, mainly because they're going to come into the picture and they're going to help you through a rough patch, or they are going to provide some type of insight, some type of information that's going to alleviate a lot of your concerns, a lot of your worries, okay?